So firstly, about Yolt, Morten mentioned we are a ING venture. So Yolt started back in 2016 within the ING Innovation Center in Amsterdam. And we actually started it ahead of the curve, ahead of open banking and PSD2, because we knew already then this was coming at us. And we also knew that open banking, PSD2, is going to change the way people interact with their money. It's going to change financial services. It's going to make money about you as an individual. It's going to allow you the power and control over your data. We've been hearing it in the panels already. So open banking, PSD2 is going to bring this. And actually we're in this world now. So PSD2 legislation is in place in most countries. The Netherlands is a bit delayed. And the APIs are slowly popping up. Open banking in the UK already has the APIs available. So we are in this world. But also, we have seen this before. We all have seen this before. And we all know the examples. So we all know the Ubers, the Airbnbs, the Booking.coms, all platforms that re-engineered the way people interact with that particular product or service. Who hasn't booked a room through Booking.com, Trivago, or whatever platform? Who hasn't used Uber? And those platforms have really changed the way people do and behave currently. And we strongly believe at Yolt that actually now it's time for banking to go through that change, even though we are part of a bank. So here comes Yolt. And essentially, before showing you a quick video of some of the features we have in Yolt, to quickly tell you what Yolt is. So on the first hand, Yolt allows users to add their different bank accounts, credit cards, savings accounts from different providers into one simple, slick app. Then on top of that combined data, we provide our users with smart insights. For example, where they have been spending their money. How much did they spend on groceries, on eating out, on drinks? But that's looking backwards. We're also telling our users what transactions are coming up next, using our own data science models, looking at predicted debits and telling them what is your financial position at this point in time? How much do you have left to spend until your next payday? And does it make sense to make this on-the-spot purchase right now, knowing that there's 5 direct debits coming out of your account in a few days? And then finally, not only showing them and allowing them access and overview of their money, but also adding a partner marketplace into the mix, where actually we try to hook our users up with partners to really get more out of the money. Save money on their energy bill, save money on international money transfer. So linking them with smart offers to really empower them to make the most of their money. And a short video shows some of the features that we have in Yolt. So obviously starting with easy onboarding, also discussed today. Then being part of ING, we need bank level security. We can't do without it. Then, as I mentioned, you can sync different accounts from different providers into one app. No need to juggle different apps. Allowing you to see your spending in categories on a per merchant view, whatever you like. Our data science models doing the categorization for you. And finally, do more with your money. So set budgets, track your bills, save money on international money transfers. And then, as I mentioned, the left to spend. So actually telling you from what day. So what's your start of the month, typically a payday, how much do you have left to spend until your next payday? So that's essentially what we have built so far and what's live in the UK market at the moment. And we started, as I mentioned, ahead of the curve. So we wanted to experiment and learn as quickly as possible, even though no APIs were available. So we started building from scratch, completely new technology stack in January 2016. Then we opened up the first alpha version for internal testing already in June on both iOS and Android. Quickly moving on to a closed beta in October 2016, allowing access to the app to 2,500 users in the UK, really telling us and testing the app for us and telling us what they like about the app, what they don't like about the app, what features they do use, what features they don't use, really helping us improve the app before we finally went live with the app into what we call open beta, but live to the whole UK public end of May last year. And why involve the users? Because it's all about the user, and we've also heard this before. And we've also heard that millennials and probably I don't know if we all here are millennials, but we all even spend 3.5 hours on our mobile phones. And 89% of millennials actually manage their money through an app on their mobile. And a recent study in the UK even showed that 70% of people in the UK use a app for their money. So they use a money app. 70% of people in the UK. That's everyone. That's even my granddad who's 90, who's obviously not in the UK. But 70% use a money app, so it needs to be mobile. Secondly, it needs to leverage APIs. So even though we started ahead of the curve, yes, we are screen scraping. So you need to provide your login credentials. Data partner logs in, scrapes the data. It's all technology. We don't want it, we needed to use it because there's no other alternative. And currently in Europe, there's hardly any bank offering an API. However, in the UK, open banking already obliged banks to open up the APIs as of January. So we are connecting those APIs. We are one of the biggest consumers of the open banking APIs as Yolt in the UK. And then you might want to say why? Well, why the APIs? Well, because a seamless onboarding experience of an account into the Yolt app actually has proven us that it drives more activity. And we have seen this seamless experience with the integration that we did with Starling Bank, one of the challenger banks in the UK. So we connected their direct API back in November 2017. And we actually saw that it's not only essential for us, this seamless onboarding, but it's also essential for them because it drove up engagement on both sides, not only on the Yolt side, but also on the Starling Bank side. So even for the incumbent banks who are opening up the APIs, I would strongly recommend a seamless onboarding experience, where actually in PSD2 open banking, the strong customer authentication flows with phone calls, SMS, TAN codes, whatnot, that's not really seamless. But I'll show you a video of the bar that has been set by Starling Bank and how quickly a user can actually add their Starling account in the Yolt app. So looking up Starling in the list of banks that we support, clicking Starling, redirected to the Starling app, fingerprint authentication, approve the consent of the data sharing, go back to Yolt, and in a matter of seconds, the bank account has been added. And that's, to us, a seamless onboarding experience. Then also, we actually want to go beyond your financial products. So we actually want to be there on every money touch point that a user has. So it can be in utilities and bills. So help our users get a better energy deal or a better phone subscription, or actually know when the subscription is up for renewal. But also financial products, even beyond banking products, such as your loans with Zopa or your pensions with PensionBee, all these fintechs, all financial products that can be in this one platform. Finally, even moving to leisure and experience. Because if you have been saving for your next holiday and you finally reach that saving goal, why not immediately purchase that next travel through the platform? Booking the hotel on booking.com on the Yolt platform, making you in control, putting you in control of your money, and actually giving you the best deal at that point in time on the only money app you will ever need. And that essentially brings me to what we call the blueprint of the bank without a balance sheet, or the money platform. And as with any platform, we need two-sided network effects to happen. So on the left-hand side, we have the users. So users can add their accounts through the APIs in a fast and secure way, see how they're spending their money, get some smart insights, and really already improve their lives in that way. But then here comes the right-hand side of the platform, where we are adding partners. And actually the smart insights can actually trigger certain deals on the partner side. As an example, we could see that a particular user has been sending money abroad using their bank, maybe even using SWIFT. I mean, that's quite an expensive feature. And we're talking about currencies later. But we see that this user has been doing this. What we can do is we can actually tell this user, hey, you've been sending money abroad using this feature, quite expensive. Why not look at MoneyTees, which is a partner we have aggregated, who actually aggregates different international money transfer options, such as TransferWise, CurrencyFair, Orbit Remit, and then lists the cheapest and best option for that particular user. The user saves money, and we actually are linking a partner to a user on the Yolt platform. And then finally, obviously, the platform itself sits in the middle where we have the account overview, money management capabilities. We'll be adding payments, so you can, through the payment initiation APIs coming up under PSD2, a user can pay back a friend, transfer money from their savings account to their current account, or the other way around to prevent overdraft and whatnot. All that to really help our users and eventually create a money platform that sits in the middle of their lives, in the middle of their financial lives, and even going beyond that. Just before I close, I'd like to share with you some of the highlights of our year in open existence. So as of June 2017, we went live. We announced last Monday that we reached the 300,000 registered users mark. And actually, it was also announced that we are moving with Yolt to France and Italy. So we are expanding to other markets with the ambition to be a pan-European, pan-global, pan-universal platform. We opened up the Yolt marketplace. As mentioned, the example of MoneyTees. We actually had the first API connection with a bank in a money app with the Starling Bank integration. And we, as I mentioned, are the biggest consumer of open banking APIs, where we currently have 11 APIs live in the app, 9 of which are open banking. So Lloyds Banking Group, RBS, Nationwide, which we just launched. And we do around 200,000 API calls every week already. And that's only new users accessing the APIs. So that's not even including users that we will migrate from scraping to APIs. Because scraping is old technology. So even in PSD2, I think there's been a mistake that only to include payment accounts. It should have been BSD2, Banking Service Directive. Open everything up. And that's also the speech from Ralph Hamers, who has been mentioned before. Open up, because otherwise people will find means to get the data, as we do, but the APIs are just better. It's faster, it's more secure. And that's essentially how we at Yolt really want to try and help our users to unthink money. Thanks a lot.